Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to the next installment in my video series, Unlocking the Fretboard. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about 3-note per string scales, and I believe 3-note per string scales are a very, very useful tool for gaining total fretboard freedom, all right? It's going to get you out of those box shapes, it's going to get you out of being stuck in positions, and it's just going to help you compose way better solos, all right? So grab your guitar, tune up, and let's get right into it. All right, guys, so we're going to start off by identifying what a 3-note per string scale is. Really, all it is, it's in the name. We're going to play 3 notes on each string to make up the given scale we're going to play here, okay? So let's forget that for just a moment, and we're going to review something that should be pretty familiar for most of us. This is a pretty common shape. We're going to play a closed position, A major scale here, starting on the 5th fret of the E string, okay? So this is the shape. Like I said, a pretty familiar pattern there, okay? So we're going to take that and remember that sound of our A major, and we're going to create our 3-note per string scale now here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our first finger now and put it on that 5th fret. And I'm just going to give you guys the frets and the strings as we go through them here. So on the first string, the E string, we're going to have 5, 7, and 9. The next string will also be 5, 7, and 9. The next string will be 6, 7, and 9. Next string will be 6, 7, and 9. The next string will be 7, 9, and 10. And the last string will be 7, 9, and 10. So all together we have this. All right. So as simple as that, that's our 3-note per string scale. The next step we need to do here is put that all over the neck. And in order to do that, we need to work on what's called our modes. All a mode is that same scale starting on a different note. So we're going to go ahead and move this A to B now. But we're not going to play B major here. We're going to play A major still, but we're just going to start on B. All right? So now here is our pattern for that. We're going to have 7, 9, and 10 on the E string, 7, 9, 11 on the next string, 7, 9, 11 on the D string, 7, 9, 11 on the G string, 9, 10, and 12 on the B string, and again 9, 10, and 12 on the E string. So all together. All right, so now we've got 2 of our modes down. So we need to continue this process through each note of our A major scale. So going through succession, we did A, we did B. Our next note is now going to be C sharp. So this is now our new pattern. So those notes are going to be, the frets are going to be 9, 9, 10, and 12 on the E string. Then we're going to have 9, 11, and 12 on the A string. Repeat that, 9, 11, and 12 on the D string. And then we're going to have 9, 11, and 13 on the G string. And then we're going to jump up here and play 11. That's going to be 10, 12, and 14 on the B string, and then the same pattern on the E string, 10, 12, 14. So all together, starting on C sharp, again, this is A major. All right, so let's keep trucking through this. So we did A, here's B, there's C, C sharp, and now we're going to start on D. So this will be our 4th mode, again playing A major, starting on D now. So those frets on the low E string, we're going to have 10, 12, 14, and then we're going to have 11, 12, 14. Next string will be 11, 12, and 14. Next string will be 11, 13, and 14. And then the next string is going to be 12, 13, 12, 14, and 15. And then on the high E string, we'll have 12, 14, 16. All right, so let's move on to our next one here. So we're going to start on the 12th fret. This is going to be 12, 14, and 16. Repeat that pattern on the next string, 12, 14, 16. Again, 12, 14, 16. 12, I'm sorry, this one's going to be 13, 13, 14, 16 there. And then we're going to have 14, 14, 15, and 17. And then on the high E string, we're going to have 14, 14, 16, and 17. All right, so all together real slow on that one. All right, so we're getting there now. We're running out of a little bit of space up here. It gets a little tight, and I encourage you to work on it up here, but also work on it down here as well. So let's go ahead and play this next one, starting down here on the 2nd fret. So this one's going to be 2, 4, and 5. Again, 2, 4, and 5. The D string is going to be 2, 4, 6. Repeat that on the G string, 2, 4, 6. And then we're going to have 3, 3, 5, 7 on the B string. And then on the E string, we'll have 4, 5, 7. So all together, this position now is let's hit that one more time. I need a little work on that one too. All right, so then we've got one more mode to go, and that's going to be on the 4th fret. And we're going to have 4, 5, and 7 on the E string. Repeat that pattern on the A string. Next, we're going to have 4, 6, 7. 4, 6, and 7 again. And then we're going to have 5, 7, and 9. And again, 5, 7, and 9. And you can see we made it all the way back to our root now. All right, so now that we've made it through all of our positions here within the 3-note per string scales and our modes, I'm just going to kind of play through them real quick, and I want you guys to kind of pay attention to how they connect and overlap. And you guys are going to notice that you're covering much more ground this way as opposed to our closed position scales, all right? So go ahead and pay attention to that. I'm going to go through this real slow and just watch the fingers, the way they move, and watch how the patterns overlap and connect with each other. All right, so here's our first mode. So you guys can see we're covering much more ground here, okay? So what I encourage you to do to work on this is just experiment with them. Get the sound in your head and just play around with them. Put a backing track on and just work your way through these, experiment, explore the fretboard, and try out patterns, okay? Get out of the same boxes that we normally play, all right? Just play around with it. All right, there's no secret to this. There's no secret hack. Really, all this comes down to is just experimenting with it for yourself. Okay, definitely put on a metronome and learn these patterns in time to get them under your fingers and know them. But really, to start creating coherent and nice lines with this, you're gonna have to just do some experimentation. I would suggest you can start on one string. That's a really good way to do it. All right, once you get really comfortable using one string, then maybe you could add another string to it, right? So. And so on and so forth. I would work on those in those groupings of 1 and 2 strings at a time, and then maybe work on groupings of 3 strings at a time, and so on. So there's a lot of information to digest. All right, so I'm going to leave you guys with that. I hope it helped you out a ton. I hope it gave you a new perspective on the different things and shapes you can do on the guitar neck, and I hope it gets you closer to that fretboard freedom so you can express yourself in every way that you possibly can on this instrument, okay? There's no rush on this. There's no right or wrong answers. Really, all it's going to take is you spending some time with it. If you guys want to work on it with a metronome, that's fine too. If you want to go through each shape here in time with the metronome, that's a really good way to do it so you can get the shapes under your fingers. But after that, I would highly suggest just playing around with these, watching what your fingers are doing and relating it to what the ears are hearing, okay? If you guys haven't already, make sure you like and follow. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, because that goes a really long way in helping me continue to create these videos for you guys. Until next time, get those gains, and I'll see you later.